Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Let me tell you something, man. Gary Antuanne Russell is the truth. That's why so many fans are picking him over Isak Pitbull Cruz. The word on the street is the two of them are supposed to be getting it on. And, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a damn good fight. Gary Antuanne Russell, Pitbull Cruz. Let me just show you this. Supposed to be getting together, man, for that WBA super lightweight belt. August 22nd or September 5th in Las Vegas. Anyway, who you got in that one? I'm telling you, that's a hard fight to call, but many fans are picking Gary Antuanne Russell. They just say there's too many physical disadvantages for Pitbull Cruz. You know what I mean? They're saying size matters. Pitbull Cruz messing around at 140. They're saying he had some success there, but that's not where he belongs. That's Russell's. That's his backyard. That's where he's comfortable. And when you look at his frame, he's naturally larger, longer, more athletic, more explosive. He throws a lot of shots. I just think Pitbull gets used to walking through punches, but he's not going to be able to do that. Pitbull's normally stronger, more concise, more compact. But I just don't think that's going to be the case when Pitbull comes trying to walk through punches with that high guard. I just think that's all bad. Gary isn't backing up. A lot of fighters get into a Pitbull and maybe they're a little bit timid. They retreat, they surrender, give up ground, allow Pitbull to dictate the pace. But Gary Antuanne Russell ain't known for giving up no damn space, man. He fights from the first second of the first round to the last second of the last round, throwing sometimes 80 to 100 punches around. It's crazy to see him fight so aggressively. And that changes everything because now Pitbull has to deal with a man who isn't intimidated and who can throw more punches around than him. And I think there's a big speed difference, too. That's another huge factor. Russell's hands are lightning fast. Feet are fast. Combination speed is ridiculous. Reaction speed. Everything comes off quickly. And Pitbull's defense has never been built around avoiding punches. It's more around absorbing punches and coming forward with that high guard. And that strategy becomes very dangerous against somebody as explosive as Russell. You also got to take a look at the amateur experience, man. Russell and the Russell brothers, they've been whipping ass for a long time. And I think many fans forget just how accomplished Russell was before turning pro. I think he even beat Boots. He beat a few guys in the amateurs. But he comes from one of boxing's most respected fighting families. When you think about the Russell family, it's synonymous with boxing excellence. He grew up around world-class fighters, man. His dad did an outstanding job with his sons. So he's seen virtually every style imaginable. And that experience matters. It does, man. But can Pitbull's style work against him? Pitbull's greatest strength could become his biggest weakness. He built on pressure, forward momentum, forward movement, physicality, work rate. That may work against Pitbull. Because if that doesn't break Gary Antuanne Russell mentally, which he's not likely to break mentally, Russell's going to stand on his ground and he's going to fire back. And Pitbull can walk into those clean shots all night. And he has that kind of power that nobody's talking about. I mean, it kind of gets overshadowed, but that's a mistake. He punches hard, very hard. Not just single shot power, man, accumulation power. And that wears opponents down, and that kind of slowly takes away confidence. Plus, he's more athletic. You know what I'm saying? You start comparing the two fighters, you can see, man, they had the athletic advantage for Russell. Again, the footwork, the speed, it's longer, more explosive, dynamic, more dimensions, And when you have two guys who are elite, when you start splitting hairs, the athletic advantage becomes increasingly important. I just think you got a nightmare scenario that's developing here for Pitbull Cruz. Trying to apply that pressure, Gary meeting him with them sharp jabs, combination angles, uppercuts. All of a sudden, that pressure becomes costly, and now you find Pitbull having to change up the game plan like he did against Lamont Roach and trying to box. But with Gary Antuanne Russell, every step that Pitbull initiates coming forward, you're going to be met with punishment. And Gary Antuanne Russell throws a lot of punches. Pitbull's not going to have time to think, like he was able to do with Lamont Roach, who's a thinker. Not Gary Antuanne Russell. He's a thinker, but he's letting those hands go. So that's what I envision, man. Just Russell, Bing, and Pitbull Cruz. So, it's like, all right, Hood, this shit is all one-sided on Gary Antuanne Russell. Can Pitbull win? I mean, yeah, I'm not dismissing Pitbull like he just can't win. I just don't see him winning. He got heart, he got toughness, pressure, he got power, he got good conditioning. He's rugged. But in order for him to win, I think he has to drag Russell into like a brutal trench war where the fight becomes much closer. But the momentum's on Russell. I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean? All the momentum is on him. Pitbull has faced pressure fighters, boxers, punchers. But when you talk about Antuanne, man, multiple dangerous traits into one package. His dad made sure he could box, punch, move, counterfight aggressively, and his brother's there training him. I mean, he's just too versatile, man. That's why he's just one of the toughest matchups in the division, and nobody calls him out. They don't want to fight him because he will whip your ass. You know what I'm saying? So for Pitbull Cruz to win, I mean, if we're doing like a path to victory, cut the ring off. Attack the body, make it ugly, force exchanges, make it physical, and really push Russell's stamina. But for Gary Antuanne Russell, just use your reach, your distance, stay cool, counter the pressure, punish those entries, mix up your speed, mix up your power. Be unpredictable in there. And then you got it. So I just think if Gary Antuanne Russell fights a disciplined fight, avoids getting trapped in prolonged brawls, I think he has every tool necessary to outbox, outland, and potentially stop Pitbull Cruz late. The concern for Pitbull supporters is that Russell may be one of the few fighters at the weight who can match aggression with aggression while also bringing superior speed, length, and athleticism. So I think Gary Antuanne Russell is either going to get a late stoppage or a unanimous decision. Plus, Pitbull, man, he's just been so active. He just been so active, man. But no disrespect to Pitbull. He's a badass. I just think Gary Antuanne Russell's all bad for him. He's all bad for everybody. That's why nobody wants to fight him. Too fast, too big, too strong. Pitbull's in trouble. That's what I think. Keep cool. I'm in the breeze.